How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome, welcome, welcome. What an amazing day to be here this morning, this evening. Woo! This morning, yeah, right. It's already like almost 9 o'clock our time here in Western Canada, and I'm telling you, good morning. Whoa, go figure. That's amazing, guys. Woo, baby. Today, my friends, is day 15 of an extraordinary journey, a 23-day gratitude journey where we are live streaming all the way to the comfort of your home from Empower Media Global Studios. So, what a pleasure, what a privilege, what an honor to be here today. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here today. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be watching from. You could be watching all the way from Philippines, Australia, Japan, the States, Europe, somewhere in Africa, or perhaps in South America, or even in sunny Mexico. Whatever you may be watching from, wherever you may be joining us from, I just want to thank you. And I want to acknowledge you today for being here, joining us during this amazing series of gratitude, of empowerment, of mindset, of sleep hygiene, personal growth, personal development. And you see, my friends, that's a lot of the different topics I talk a lot during most of my programs. There are some programs that are very specific, let's just say, about sleep hygiene. There are other programs that are just about mindful living, and there are other programs which, of course, we talk all about self-care, self-love, other programs about gratitude, and so on and so forth. But you see, during this 23-day gratitude journey, you are in for a treat. You are in for a treat, and you know why? It's because everything I teach during my paid programs to my students and those who enroll to my programs, you are receiving right here during the month of February, during the 23-day gratitude journey. You are receiving all of my teachings without having to do absolutely nothing but just to press play, to sit back, relax, and spend the next 10-15 minutes here with me at Extraordinary Life. And with that, you get in exchange the gift of awareness. You get the gift of knowledge. You get some tangible, actionable steps that can start improving the quality of your life as early as today, as early as tonight, as of this evening, as of when you and I finish here. You can start implementing those strategies I'm sharing with you, that knowledge I'm gifting you with, that awareness that I'm providing you with. You can start taking actionable steps today. And my friends, for this evening, for day 15 of our 23-day gratitude journey, today I have a special message for you. And once again, this is one of the messages, one of the programs, the trainings that we provide during Living an Extraordinary Life 8-week program. And today I want to give you just a small preview of what one of those days, one of those weeks trainings is like about. So you see, the topic that I have prepared for you today, it's called Be Generous with Your Self-Care and Listen to Your Body. Be generous to your self-care and listen to your body. And you see, for about 2 years, about 2 years ago, I started to feel a very sharp pain down in my lower abdomen. And this pain that I started to receive and to feel while we were living in Mexico during the pandemic, this pain started manifesting at a higher intensity, at a higher capacity, where things were just excruciating. And the pain in my lower abdomen, I was like, did I pull a muscle doing a nav? Did I hurt my muscles just stretching? Or am I getting a hernia here? So you don't know, right? I didn't know what the heck was going on. So off I go to the ER, and by this, We are again living in Mexico down in the middle of the pandemic, right? So if I go to the hospital and everybody, nobody wants to see you, nobody wants to talk to you, nobody wants to touch you because maybe you had COVID, right? And everybody was freaking out. So eventually, I get into the ER, and they started asking me a bunch of questions, and they admitted me very fairly quick. Actually, they thought I had a hernia. We thought I had a hernia, and that thing was gonna just cause more damage that was necessary. So after a few hours, a few studies and whatnot, and they give me the good stuff and the analgesic, the anesthetic. What do you call those guys? The anesthesia and the painkillers and all that fun stuff that they were able to give me. And they sent me home. And they said, there's nothing wrong with you. You need to go home. Now, you're going to excuse me for 1 second here, please. Sorry about that. They sent me home and they said, follow up with your family physician as we cannot see absolutely nothing. Everything is right. The lab work that we did is showing that everything is good. The MRI we did is showing that you're good, that there is no hernia, and there is nothing else that we can see. So while we understand that the pain is there and you're expressing pain and discomfort, we just know that whatever we did show nothing. So you just got to continue digging around with your doctor. So I say, all right, okay, we'll do that. So, then eventually we fly back to Canada about a year later. And we're now in Canada in 2022. And the first thing I do is I go see my family physician and I say, hey, doc, what's going on? I have this pain. I was rushed to the ER. And I'd like to know what the heck's going on because, this is one of those things that is causing me a lot of pain and is getting even harder to put on my shoes. So now watch this, okay? So listen to this. She says, okay, we're going to send you to a bunch of lab work. And for the next several months, I'm like a little lab rat. I'm going from one place to another, to another, to another, talking to people, talking to somebody else, talking to somebody else. And well, fast forward, and nobody was able to give me an answer. Nobody was able to give me an answer. Everybody told me, whatever they thought it was. I even went to see surgeons, specialists, and they all dismissed me within 5 minutes. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sounds familiar as when I experienced that concussion. They dismissed me as quick as possible because they wanted to flip the page and deal with the next patient. Well, here it was very similar where the last guy, so he says to me, you know what? I see these issues all the time, and what you need to do is you need to do some pelvic floor work. Now, me thinking pelvic floor work, I know what that means. I know what it is. I know that a lot of women, when they're pregnant, they have to start reconditioning their body, their hips, and the pelvic floor is one of the things they need to recondition and retrain after having a baby. I've been told anyways, right? I have my wife and my daughter who's also had a baby, and everybody that I talk to, they say, yeah, it's very common with women to have pelvic floor issues. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, this is part of the story. This is part of the teaching I want to share with you, okay? But I got to give you a little foundation, a little groundwork, so you know where I'm going. And my process, how I teach my students, I follow the story, teach, tool method. So I'm giving you a story here to give you the foundation of what's going on. Next, I'm going to be telling you the lessons that we learned, the lessons you can learn here today. And then at the end, I'm going to give you strategies. I'm going to give you a tool that is going to help you move forward and propel forward. Right? So if you bear with me for the next few minutes, I will continue with this story. And at the end of this live stream, you're going to be able to add one more tool to your tool belt or to your toolbox. Cool? So, as I am talking to the surgeons and everything, I had to rush myself again for the second time to the ER. Now, this time when I rushed myself to the ER for the second time, my daughter was having her baby, and she was going to go through the delivery process for who knows how many hours, and we just had no idea how long it was going to take for her to be dealing with the delivery, right? So instead of just waiting at the waiting room, just doing nothing, I decided to check in myself into the ER once again for the second time to see if these guys could actually see something because again, I couldn't even put on my shoes without excruciating pain. So we go through the whole process again, nurses, doctors, surgeons, everybody scans, ultrasounds, and everybody tells me the same thing. Sir, I'm sorry this may not be the news you wanted to hear, but there is nothing wrong with you. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I know the pain is there. You cannot tell me there is nothing wrong. So she said, well, we're going to refer you to the advanced pain management clinic. Okay, that sounds interesting. All right, so send me to the advanced pain management clinic. So a few weeks later, I get a phone call from them. I book my first appointment. And so off I go to the advanced pain management clinic. And they started to talk, to do some exploration and looking at what the cause was. Well, the long story short with that clinic is they refer me out. They refer me to the physiotherapist across the hallway where they thought that, indeed I was going to be able to proceed and to get some answers with them. And as I get to the physiotherapist, months and months later, right, now we're almost talking at the end of 2023, so just a few months ago, actually. I talked to the physiotherapist, and she's going through the list. Okay, you're going to do this exercise, but we are not targeting the pelvic floor work. She was truly believing that the issue was in the hip extender. And the reason why she was thinking that the issue was on the hip extender is because when she did a few moves with me and she helped me to do a few exercises, we realized a few things. We realized that my bottom part of my body was weak as heck. It was so weak. So here's what happened. As I started to do the exercises at home, I became very, very intentional about what my body was telling me. Despite what the physiotherapist was telling me, she was telling me, oh, if you can spend 2 minutes, watch what she said. If you can spend a couple minutes a day practicing the physio work we're doing, then you should be okay. I shall be okay? She's like, yeah, just 5-10 minutes, whatever you can squish in, just do it. Then I looked at her and I say, okay, ma'am, listen. I cannot be in such a rush, and I can appreciate where you're coming from, that most people cannot afford more than investing 5 minutes in their well-being. So sad, by the way. Or they cannot spend more than 10 minutes in their self-care. Oof, real bad, by the way. I was like, I am committed to healing. I am committed to finding why I'm getting so much pain. Because I do not enjoy having pain. I do not enjoy it at all. And trust me when I'm telling you this. We explore my diet. We explore blood work, nerve system, muscles, and you name it. I even went to see the specialists, the urologist, because, we're like, something's going on down in my lower abdomen, and I don't know what the heck is going on. But as I was practicing these exercises, I started to pay attention to my body. And here's what I learned. Here's what you can learn. By paying attention to my body, it required for me to spend more time listening to what my body was telling me. I could not have discovered what my body was telling me had I been in such a rush. And what I mean by being in such a rush is that sometimes, or most of the time, we are in a go, that we just want to make it happen. We just want the instant results, and we want a move of magic one, and kind of, what's it called, dippity-dappity do, or something like that, a pitch, and then bam, magic, right? Well, it doesn't work that way. Yesterday and the day before yesterday, I was telling you a story about self-management work and how I was telling my daughter that she should take a proactive approach. More specifically, when she went to physio, I told her to go with an open mind, with curiosity, and without judgment. But now here is the addition to it. Don't be stingy with your self-care. Don't be stingy while taking care of yourself. You should devote time. You should be honored to take care of your body. You should be honored to spend the time to really get to the nitty gritty of whatever it is that your body needs. So, by me listening to my body, guess what I discovered? Well, a few days ago, I told you I was dealing with a broken tailbone, and the doctors told me to deal with it and to live with it and to make it part of my life. The pain that was supposed to be part of my everyday life, and I refused and I rejected the statement, and I say, I don't think so, because pain is not a lifestyle. Pain is not a way of living. Pain is not something that I enjoy. So I want to make sure that I have a day without pain. So I started doing the work, and then I realized that the broken tailbone I had going on, I was overcompensating to the right side of my body because the pain that the broken tailbone was causing on the left side of my body, where sciatica happens and all that place. If those of you have had sciatica before, you know what I'm talking about, right? So I couldn't put too much weight or effort on my left side. And by me doing the exercises, I realized that my left leg was super, super weak, because all of the extra effort, I was compensating it to the right. And that by doing the hip stretching exercises, the hip extenders, I realized that the left side needed to be more careful, a little bit more extra attention and care. Well, my friends, as I identified that, I was starting to adjust my hip, my balance, my weight between both legs, and I was able to discover that by overcompensating to the one side, because of fear, because of pain, because of discomfort, or whatever else you want to add to that list, I was avoiding leaning equally into both sides of my hip, into my legs. And that's why that pain started causing even bigger pain, because my hip got to a point where it was like, okay, man, it's been like almost 8 years of you dealing with that. It's been 8 years of compounding pain, 8 years of you not properly stretching both sides or putting weight in both, whatever it was. But at the end of the day, I was able to understand that by taking the time, by giving myself that generosity of time, I was able to listen to my body. And my body, by listening to my body, I was able to identify an issue that now I'm working towards improving. Because remember what I said to you during last week. The three basic strategies that I teach everybody, and you can find this information on my website, by the way. If you were to go to my website right now, to extraordinarylife.ca, you will be able to see that on my website, right on my website, you will identify and you will find those three basic strategies. And number one strategy is identify the issue that's causing it. Identify what's causing the pain. Identify and track. That's a number two strategy. Track those steps. Track what's causing the pain. Keep a journal going of what's messing you up. So then, third step, so you can take a proactive approach and avoid making the same mistakes and avoid doing the same things that already cause pain. Very simple, right? Very cool. Like I said, those three strategies are all over my website, and I teach them, and I breathe them, and I live them, and I show my students and those who want to work with me how to fully enhance those three strategies to the deeper levels that we have to be dealing with in things in life. So my friends, I love to encourage you once again. Here's my website once again, so you can see it, you can take a look at it. Go to extraordinarylife.ca, just like it's right here at the bottom of your screen, extraordinarylife.ca, and you'd be able to learn and to discover some of the different things that we got going on, some of our programs that we have happening right now. Like, for example, this 23-day gratitude journey, you can find the link on our website to see everything on YouTube, to watch from day 1 to day 23 and beyond, all of our different programs that we have going on. So how do you find it also? You can go to YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for Extraordinary Life. on YouTube, and you'll have an opportunity to connect with those, to follow our journey, and to keep up with what is going on here at Extraordinary Life, right? And that, my friends, it's what I have been able to learn, to discover, and I just want to review my notes because I want to make sure I don't leave anything out. And now that I am proactively building and my strength and my conditioning of my body, just to wrap things up with that, I want to give you a tool that is going to help you start managing your self-care. And that tool, my friends, is nothing else and nothing more and nothing less. I don't know if I say that right, but really what it comes down to, it's my sleep hygiene. Sorry, not my sleep hygiene. Not my sleep hygiene. I want to show you my self-care checklist. And this self-care checklist is an opportunity for you to go and practice at home some of the different things, some of the different suggestions. For example, at home, create a routine with your loved ones. If you want to spend a little bit more money, if you want to spend more time on you, whatever the case may be, right? The idea is that this self-care checklist helps you steer something up in your brain, gives you ideas for you to start implementing your self-care, start implementing your activities in life and whatnot. So now, how do you get access to this self-care checklist? Very simple, very straightforward. For those of you who drop in the comments below the word self-care, I will make sure you get a copy of this. I'll send you the PDF so you can download it and save it into your device. But you have to add in the comments below the word self-care. And only those who comment below with the word self-care, I will make sure that you receive a copy of our self-care checklist, which gives you an opportunity to start practicing, to start enhancing, to start discovering different things. Because remember, my friends, what if it works? What if it works? Remember to explore the potential of mindful living, because you don't know when this will work. And my friends, with that, I want to share with you a couple of beautiful testimonials from our attendees from previous programs. This one right here from our amazing Tamara. She's saying, thank you for guiding me towards a healthier and more intentional version of myself. The next one reads, I have already noticed improvements in my life, mindset, and energy after only 2 sessions. Imagine this, after only 2 sessions, they're already seeing changes, they're already seeing progress, they're already seeing evolution, they're already seeing things that they needed to see. Their eyes were open, enhancements to their self-care, enhancements to their everyday life. Now, how is that possible, or how can you be part of that as well? Well, my friends, coming up here on May, I have something beautiful happening here. It's called Living an Extraordinary Life program, and this is an 8-week program going on from Friday, May 2nd to Friday, June 21st from 2024, so just a couple months away. And right now, this is so cool, because listen, right now, there is a 70% discount for the early registration. For the early registration, for those who like to seize the moment and see an incredible opportunity, they want to jump on it and they want to take action. So my friends, right now, our Living an Extraordinary Life program has a 70% discount, and this is going to be effective until March 30th. And all you have to do, my friends, is go to extraordinarylife.ca and save your spot. Save your spot, because we are super, super excited to share with you another extraordinary life experience. An experience where you have an opportunity to start building with intention, where you start developing your mindset with intention. You start taking care of your wellness with intention. And that's what we want to make sure, that we take small, tangible steps towards whatever it is that we're doing. Because remember, what if it works? What if it works? What if you wake up tomorrow without pain? What if you wake up tomorrow with a different mindset? What if you wake up tomorrow with an attitude of gratitude? What if you wake up tomorrow feeling that you are conditioned and ready to take on whatever challenge comes your way. So, once again, my friends, I want to invite you to join us at Living an Extraordinary Life. This is an 8-week program, once again, happening from May 2nd to June 21st. And with that, my friends, we have come to the conclusion of day 15, but the beginning of day 16. Because, my friends, what a privilege it is to be here today. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening, make sure you tune in once again and join us as we continue with this amazing, amazing, extraordinary life journey. And with that, my friends, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of music, shall we? Because, it's always fun, right? And I will see you tomorrow. Nadie la controla.